Hi everyone, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am here with something that's so easy, but I hope you guys agree. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. So I am using some digital papers by Tina over at the Making and Creating website. And one of the kits, it's called Victorian Christmas cards, and it's these what are they called, cabinet cards, these vintage cabinet cards, and they were sent, as Christmas cards with photos. And I've done a few different things with them, and I'll show you, and then we'll talk about it. But there's also over and there's kind of two sites on Making and Creating. There's the Digital Collage Club, and then there's the Clip Art Corner. Over at the Clip Art Corner, there are Christmas people. And I then layered these just on some, I'll have to remember the name of the kit, but for background papers, I did it, I use Canva, and there's a free version. It's really not hard to use, but you don't even have to do this. But that's what I did, is I just dropped the clip arts onto these background pages and then printed them out. I also, so I printed them at this large size, but then I did 2 to a page, right? Aren't they fabulous? So that if you're a member of the Digital Collage Club or of the Clip Art Corner and you want to do something similar to these, this is an idea, or, just to do some different ones. Or if you're only a member of the Digital Collage Club, of course, these are kind of ready-made and fabulous. So there's lots of different options. If you're a member of both, you're like me, you could do both. So, but if you've ever been thinking about joining, there are so many fun Christmas and holiday and all seasons there. So anyway, go take a look. I'll have it linked for you in the description. Make sure you use my link and coupon code, and it'll help us both. And I appreciate it. So thank you guys. All right. So this is how the cabinet cards, they're called Victorian Christmas cards, print out. It's one of the newer kits, and just like it comes. And then, like I said, with the others, I printed these large ones, and then I did some small ones, and we're going to make a variety today during the tutorial. Okay. Now, these large ones I mounted on, I have some Tim Holtz papers that I've kind of been hoarding, cardstock, and I just thought the colors worked really well. So everything you see here I made with 2 12 by 12 pieces of scrapbook paper, and then the digitals. So you can use, I think craft cardstock would be beautiful. You could use black. You could use like a coffee dyed type of color. I mean, really anything that you want. If you want more pops of color, use a red or a green. I did use my sewing machine on these. We're not going to do sewing on the ones that we make today, but I wanted to show you what that could look like if you're like me and you like to use your sewing machine. So I tried some of the different stitches that are available. I really love this one and the one I just showed you and how it turned out. Here's one that I did just a really large, wide kind of zigzag. Here I did a little roughly, and all these little embellishments. Well, this I just made with some ribbon and a stickable brad. This, I'll kind of show you the embellishments that we got. I got these at that scrapbook store during my trip to Tennessee. Okay, so I did those, and then with the Victorian Christmas cards, I again sewed around and did just some different, what I thought looked kind of like vintagey embellishments. And this one, I remember my grandmother used to take our pictures when we were kids, her grandchildren, and she would hang them vertically. And sometimes if it was just like a Polaroid or a snapshot, she'd put them on a strip of ribbon or something. And this was kind of reminiscent of that for me. And I just imagine this could be, a grandma or, with her grandchildren. As a decoration. So I love that. And of course, this is a little large to go in a journal, but I definitely can use it as a Christmas decoration. You could fold it up, but where I put the bows, it may not work, but you know, there's options. You can also just do 2 and then it would fit in a journal. Same here. I used some of that vintage trim that I got at a thrift store and cut it apart. I did that recently in a video, but I pulled it out and used it again. And then some of these, I think these are like K and Company. Again, they were in the discount side of the scrapbook store. But I, again, imagine this was like a family Christmas card. And I probably could, if I was careful, fold this one over or figure out a way to make it more like, you know, like a card you open, you know, and I could decorate the front even and open it up. But right now I imagine using it as like a mantle decoration. But like, this could be a family, like an older daughter and a younger daughter and a husband and a wife or something like that. Anyway, I love them and I am really excited to just show you what I did. Again, super easy project, but these are going to be great. You can put neutral paper and use it as a journaling card. You can give it as a Christmas card. You could add a pocket on there and stick a little gift in it. So lots of ideas. Okay, we're going to set those kind of aside and get going. I have some paper prepped. Now, like I said, all of those were made with 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, and one of the square ones I decided I wanted to be more of a rectangle. These smaller ones that I did, and that's the only piece I had left over. Doesn't really matter, but we'll see how we're going to go. So these are some of the ones that I made in that smaller size. These are some of the Victorian Christmas cards that I've cut out. I also was thinking if I left them like this, we could do something with folding them. So we may try that. And then I have some of the larger ones. I mean, is she not precious? Just look at her in her dress. I love it. So lots to play with today. I went ahead and cut some scrapbook paper, again, in kind of these really dark colors. And because of the size the large ones printed at, I cut them a 1/2 inch larger. So this paper was cut 7.5 by 4.5 by 7.5. But again, just measure yours if you print them or if you have other things you're going to use for your images. And then here's one that has more of a, like a green or something. He's cracking me up. And he has a lot of color. He looks like a little elf. Let's focus on 2 for right now, 2 of the large ones, and then we'll make some smaller ones and just see how we do. How's that? So I'm going to do these 2 little ones. So I am going to go ahead and ink the edges using my distress ink. You can use any color you want. I thought about using my green, but it was too bright. It didn't work. I tried it. I only have one green distress ink, so I just went back to vintage photo. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you spending some time with me. And if you like the idea and the video, please give it a thumbs up. Drop me a comment and let me know you're out there. I always appreciate that. Those of you that have been hyping my videos, thank you. I've been getting a few, so it definitely is fun. YouTube sends me a little report occasionally telling me about what was hyped, I guess to encourage me to, you know, make more videos like that. I don't know. But for my channel is considered a smaller YouTube channel. And so they give you extra points if you get a hype or something. I still don't know exactly how all of it works. But anyway, it's their latest thing, so thank you guys. Those of you that have been taking advantage of that. Okay, so if you want to sew yours, all I did was put a little bit of glue, you know, and then I took it in my sewing machine and sewed around. These I'm going to glue down well because I'm not going to sew these. I don't know how to do my sewing machine on camera, and I could try to step away and do it and come back. but then I have to worry about editing the video. You know, there's just so much to consider. So we're going to glue them. Now, if you want to sew them, you can sew them just like you sew fabric, right? And it also, I think, is good to show what they look like sewn, but then, you know, so you don't have to, and they're still going to be wonderful. That just adds a little bit of texture, you know, a little bit different look. But not everyone has a sewing machine. And you could also do some hand stitching. I know there are a lot of us, you know, a lot of people that do this type of crafting that don't want to do that to their sewing machine because they actually really, I guess, sew. And I get that too. So you could do a few hand stitches, you know, if you wanted to, with a needle and thread, you know, even just a few would look cute. All right. Let's focus on this little lady first. And one thing that I didn't think about that I could have gotten out were some of my Christmas sentiments and things, and I didn't do that, so I'm not going to worry about it right now, but that would be fun as well, as to add some Christmas sentiments. I think I have in my sticker stash some Christmas-y stickers we might use. I need to be using these. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm really bad. Oh, look at those. I'm really bad about letting them sit here because I love to look at them, but that doesn't quite, you know. I am not one of the people that have, and I want to so badly, but I'm not, because look at this. Join the Dilly Dally sticker option over at Pink Monarch Prints. I love them and I want to. I just can't justify it right now because I have so many things that I haven't even used, right? Won't that be pretty for her? I'm trying to decide where. Maybe along the bottom because it's the correct width, I think, or close to it. And then, of course, it's cutting off her shoes. All right, I'm going to do this. Don't panic. And I'm going to trim it off. I think it'll be okay. Hopefully I will still like it. And then we'll put something different, you know, kind of at the top. This is definitely one of those projects that if you're like me and you have quite a few supplies, just kind of think about what you have, or don't even think about it. Just grab some of your supplies that might work, that are in the right color palette, or, you know, if you want to bring Christmassy, I love that matches her bow there. Okay. And just, you know what, have fun and start crafting, because things just end up in my stash and I really need to work on that. Okay, I got these again at that scrapbook store, but they're Echo Park. If I can find a link for you guys, I will, of where you might be able to purchase, because these are new, where you might be able to purchase these. They're from their Nutcracker collection. These are the ones that are older that I got. And these are fabulous too that I got there as well. And again, everything was half off of whatever the sticker was, so it was fun. Okay, I have this. I kind of want some type of lace or ribbon. I will show you guys again how I did these. And of course, there's the red too, which I did use a little bit of. And I loved that pop. Okay, so this is the red, and this is the back of the red. It's a gold, but it's a little bit more worn than this gold. But I loved how that looked, and I thought it was enough just like that. So I think for this lovely, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. See, it almost feels like it gets it too bright because this is kind of a muted, and I went with that with the sticker. I'm wondering what it'll look like if I tie a bow with this lace. I haven't done that. But I love bows. I love bows. I mean, what's not to love? If I'd done a little teeny tiny one, we could put it on her. Yeah, that's not speaking to me, so I'm going to put that away. And I think I might look at one of these poinsettias, because that looks like the exact color red right there. So let's see, does it make sense to put it down here where I didn't come quite to the edge? And then maybe, I don't know if this is too pinky. Is pinky a word? I think it is. Maybe if I do maybe just a little topper with the pink and the red. Let's do it. Okay, now these are old and I don't know, I mean, it feels really sticky, but I decided to just do a drop of hot glue as well on mine. Just made me feel a little more comfortable. All right, I am going to use the infamous slot punch. Try to get it somewhat in the center. And I think I'm going to do the pink and the red. And we'll see what happens. I didn't use any seam binding on the ones I made off camera. So, you know, I'll go into withdrawal if I don't use some soon. Okay. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Maybe get those to turn up just a little bit. Okay, that was fun. And see how simple? I mean, I don't feel like these need that much. And again, if you don't have some of these types of embellishments, you could take fussy cuts and just layer them, maybe with some flowers. So again, lots of options. Okay, this little silly, cute fella. I have shown y'all on a couple of different times this ribbon. I think I pulled it out. So I was just thinking with his colors, this was going to look good. It's that kind that was waterproof, and it's called polypropylene. So it's not really paper and it's not really fabric. It's sort of plasticky. And my mother would have been able to make beautiful large bows with it. That's not me. I'm not able to do that. But I am thinking we could do like a wide kind of side tab or something. The other thing this does that's really kind of fun, I'm not sure where I want to cut this, is it splits. So I'm going to show you that, but let me think. Like, I don't think I want it quite that wide. So let me show you what this will do. I don't want it exactly in half either. I want to be picky. I'm going to say I want it to be this wide. And look at that. Ha! I love it. It tears straight. So now I have this thin piece and now I have this piece. And if it's still too wide, I can take some more off. But I don't know, there's something about the proportions that I'm liking here. And I was wondering if I glue it down and then maybe do a red and a green rhinestone sparkly, because, you know, why not, right? I don't know which way I want it to go. I think I am going to cut this little bit of white that was left behind when I did that. It's really easy to cut and work with, more like paper. I'm not, like I said, I'm not real good at tying bows with it, and I don't want it at the top. I really do want it on the side. All right. So I think the strategy is to put a strip of hot glue, move fast, put it down, and then I'm going to put just a little there to help, you know, keep it stuck. Now, what I have to decide is how big do I want this loop? And I'm going to let it be nice and big on the back because I can, right? Let's see, do I like that? I do. All right, there was probably a little bit better way to do this part, and I did not get it glued even. Oh well. it still looks okay. All right, there we go. Now, it'll be sparkly. Do we want the red, the clear, and the green? Or do we want just like 2? Same thing with these. I don't know if I need hot glue. I'm going to try to just set it there and not press it down yet. And see what I think, because I can always pull them up then and add some hot glue. These were called sticky brads. Isn't that cool? All right, let's see. I like that. That's a lot, and we need some more something. But again, at Christmas, I kind of go for the a lot strategy. That looks approximately correct. It's going to be hard to get these, lined up. That's pretty good. Or, you know what? I'm just going to push them down because they do feel sticky. And I'll check on them later and see if I think I need to lift them up and put hot glue on them. Okay, cuteness. So let me set that out of my way. What else do you need, little fella? I'm saying it needs something else, but maybe it doesn't. I mean, what would it look like if we put some ribbon or something on here? I don't know. This is fun ribbon, and I think this is supposed to be the front, right? But I really like it when it's turned this way. So maybe this is the front. It's definitely more decorative. I think that's too much, but I'm going to use this. Oh, I guess someone had cut a larger piece and then wrapped it back around because there's much more on here, and then this piece is loose. So I'm trying to decide, do I want a little something to make that edge? Maybe that's what we'll do. I'm going to cut it a little large. I have little pins stuck all around in this paper towel roller, and that one was definitely sticking out, and I almost got myself. Okay, we're gonna save that. I'm wondering if I just do like a little bit of a ruffle as I glue it down. Probably could have cut it even longer. All right, let's glue this down. If we want more, we can just maybe patch it together. Let's just see what happens. Lace like this being, with all the holes and everything, you can do quite a bit with it. See, I don't think 2 makes sense. I kind of like it. Let's trim it off because, again, like I said, I can always cut another piece and we can attach it. But I kind of like it just like that. It sort of covers up that raw edge a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave him for now. Whoops. There went those brads. Okay, so we made these 2. Let's make some with the actual cards, and then with the ones I made smaller size. So when you cut your paper, if you print yours kind of the size I did, you get out of one piece of 12 by 12 paper enough to make 2 of the large cards, and then you get a strip like this and a strip like this. And which strip? Doesn't really matter. Let's keep these 2 out. I wanted to show you guys one of the kind of large ones I did. Oh, I remember too. The first paper I cut at 4.5, and then I cut it at 7.5, and I ended up with the squares. And then the second piece, this was when I was first doing it, I cut on the 12-inch side at 7.5 and got 2 of the 4.5 pieces, and then this piece was left, and I got these big pieces. So I do not have the same shape. This is what I guess I'm trying to explain, is I don't have a skinny like this. But if I want to do one with the vertical orientation, I'll just trim it off. But let's do one like this that's a horizontal and embellish it differently, just because we can. Now this paper is on a pad, and I may end up trimming it later, but I'm going to just ink where it, to cover up the little bit of white where it didn't tear out of the pad of paper that great. And like I said, it's been in my stash for 10-ish plus years, and you know, I think it did pretty well. I think it did pretty well. I'm trying to find images that I haven't used yet. So I've got these 2 gentlemen, and I can reuse them. I used him before. I kind of like that one. It could be like, again, family photos for this holiday season, you know? Let's see. There weren't as many ladies just by themselves as there were men. So let me think about this. Okay, this could be like a family that has a couple of sons or several sons, right? It could be that. I was kind of liking this family one. I just really liked how they came together, the way I picked them out for the others. So let me think about this for a second. Ooh, here's a different family image. Okay, we're going to pretend that like this is this dude, and then this is this dude and his family, and then this dude doesn't have a family. Ah! So this dude got pictured twice. That's okay. In my imagination of who these people are and their families. All right, I'm just trimming him just a touch. All right. And if they're not all exactly the same, because you know when you cut things, it's kind of hard even when you're measuring. And I just like gave this one a haircut. Again, I'm going with, this is Victorian Christmas cards, and they didn't have all the precise tools maybe that we have today for scrapbooking, and they would have just been happy to cut the picture out, you know, or get the card and then put it on something to decorate, right? That's my story. Okay. So again, what I did with the other one is I did sew around each picture. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to lay our guys down, and I think I'm going to go a little to the left so that we have approximately that same amount around. And then if we have a little extra on the end, I don't know if we will or not, but if we do, I will trim it off. But I think we definitely will have enough room to do that with these. Put a little heart on there. Okay. And then I did choose to do that fun ribbon embellishment, and I think I have enough that we can do it on this one because I think it looks really cool. And if you don't have something like that, again, you can use paper, you can use washi tape, you can use a different type of ribbon. Really, I mean, you could do anything to make your border. And then if it's not quite as fancy as you want it, then add some little clusters in between, or again, you could do, you know, more of these in between. I think with this border, I didn't need a lot of embellishing, so it was just kind of fun. And if you ever see, you know, trims like this and you're not sure, like I said, it's like $2, right? It may be worth then grabbing and experimenting with it. And if you're at the holiday aisle somewhere and there's something new that looks similar, you know, that's maybe a wide ribbon that then you could cut apart, that might be something to try as well. I'm always on the lookout. and thinking about how can I alter some of these items, you know, to work for my junk journaling. These are so cute. All these little, these were loved people by someone at some point, right? Okay, I hope I'm keeping this close to on camera. I guess if I moved these, I could come over just a little because I know that would be on camera. Okay, so I hope I have a piece that's long enough. If not, I know I do with the red. So it's almost gone, but that's okay. Okay, yes, I do, because I just need one strip that is the correct length, and then I'm going to cut it so that we'll end up with two pieces. So I'm going to cut it right there, and then I will have this tiny piece for something else. All right, this is not hard to do, but you do have to pay attention or you will cut it wrong. And again, y'all may be thinking, Pam, why are you spending so much time on this? We don't have any trim that looks like that. And I understand. Oh, you know what would work too? You know, a lot of us have those edgers, the punches that edge paper. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. I'll go grab one of mine. Y'all may know what I'm talking about. But that make the fancy edges, or even the scissors that do the fancy edges, or pinking shears, something like that. And you could make, you know, get a piece of glittery paper or gold or silver paper at, you know, like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and then cut it out. I have one that cuts an edge that looks sort of lacy. So that would be fun too. And since this is 12 inches, you could cut it out of a piece of scrapbook paper, or, you know, this 12 by 12, or if you don't have any paper like that, cut it and just piece it together. I stuck these embellishments on, right? But if you had to piece it together, you could put an embellishment or a button or something at any point. So, you know, don't feel like you have to have the same items. I think I lost some of my precious items when this fell. I'm gonna have to look on the floor in a little bit. I just realized I should probably pick it up. Okay. Now, this is a touch fiddly because I discovered it needs to be glued either with Fabrifix or hot glue. It's like a little velvet texture. And, you know, this side is really pretty too. It's the kind of a neutral. But with this being Christmas photos, Christmas family, we are going to do gold again. All right, so I'm just putting a touch of hot glue right at the end. And I think I went this way. And I'm going to go right along the top and just kind of press it down as I go. That got a little bubbled, but that's okay. Now, at the end, I go back and put a little dot under each of those, but I think it's better to maybe just do the straight edge first, simply because I don't know why. I may have to kind of force it if I don't get it very straight. There we go. And again, I'm trying to do a thin bead because it doesn't need much and it definitely grabs a hold. All right, I hope I stayed on camera. And it's a touch long. I will trim it off in a minute. It's okay. All right, and then I did just go back through and did the tiniest of dots of glue. I tried using my regular everyday glue and it did not stick. So that's a me issue. If you use paper, you can use regular glue. And it would be pretty with just like one piece, but again, it's Christmas. So why do just one, right? And because we cut it apart, it looks like it was made for this. I love it. Whoops. Okay. There we go. I wish they still, I'm sure they make something like this somewhere, but like when you go to buy holiday ribbons and things, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Of course, we have pretty things now too that they did not have back 20 plus years ago. I sometimes think my mom passed away in, it's hard to believe it was 2010. So it's been 15 years, but just how much things have changed just since she's been gone and all the things I'd have to tell her. But I kind of think she knows. But like things with technology, especially, and like how much like cars have changed just in 15 years. So, and of course, people change too. We get older if we're fortunate, right? Children grow up, all the things. All right, I'm almost finished with this. I hope you guys like these ideas. I just think, because I love stuff like this, these are going to be really pretty decorations for me to have. And I also feel like, especially even the big tags, or the single ones, whether they're the big ones or the little ones, they'll be beautiful to put on a package. I could see putting this on a package and writing, who it's to and from on the back. And you could add another type of ribbon or bow with it, or this would just be pretty enough, itself, depending on, the paper you use and stuff. So, okay. Now let's see if I have any of these that I like left, since I'm working on my stash. That one's kind of cute. And this one's kind of cute. I had thought about peppering, some through, but I just think the corners are enough. So the question is, would I rather do like something a little smaller, or would I rather do poinsettias, or a combination? I don't know. I'm kind of liking just the holly. And that's what I did on the other one too. It was a little bit different style. Let's use those. Do you guys do this when you're pleased with something you're working on? I do it all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I get all excited and giggle to myself and talk to myself. It is what it is. All right. Put enough glue, because this only had one little teeny tiny dot. And I don't want these to go anywhere. I just think that is so pretty. The only difference is I had sewn around the other ones, but I don't even think you need it. I mean, how pretty are those, right? Okay, so we've done that style. We did a couple large ones. I did love this one that I and then envisioned, hanging it. So again, you can top them differently. Okay, let's look at doing something with some of these smaller ones that I made from the clip art. Christmas people. All different. Okay, get these out of my way. So I have this piece, and it's going to be perfect. Let's see, I just cut out two. So the angel, I did the big little angel like that. Let's do her. Isn't she cute? She doesn't even have to necessarily be Christmas. I'm going to make her Christmas, but she's so cute. She could just be like a little fairy or a little girl putting on her angel wings to remind everybody how adorable she is. Not that you'd probably have to be reminded, says the mother of several daughters. Okay. let's get my stickers back over here because I put them, I laid them on my trimmer to get them out of my way. Okay, there we go. Easy peasy. And you could do more paper layering if you want to. If you want these to not be so neutral, you know, you could start adding pops of color with other kinds of papers. Lots of things you could do. Now, I know not everyone has these types of things, so I was going to, and I don't really have fussy cuts prepared, but stickers are similar, right? Like just a sticker is similar. So this is what I was going to do if I can find just a small piece of white cardstock. And I'm thinking, of course, that will be quite bright if I do it on here. Where is this? What would this look like? Ah, that would work. Let me save this in case I want it. But I could even do it on this side to have a little more contrast. So does she want, and of course you could just stick it down, but I was going to show you how to make it maybe pop up a little bit. What does she need? Does she need a flower or the holly? I also have this one that has stars and a bow. Oh my gosh. Oh, a Christmas tree. Ooh, let's do this one. All right, making a decision. Sometimes it's hard to make a decision. Okay, so you have a fussy cut, let's say. So I'm gonna cut it out. And then we could do another layer that's just, you know, to have the multi-layers like those pre-made ones are. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it'll still look cute using some pop-up dots. So we're gonna try it. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of ink. So I think I'm gonna put it there. And I should have sitting here my pop-up dots. I have too many things out that I'm playing with today. Let me just reach over. Pop-up dots, yay! And we will do a couple, just so it has some, hopefully some good stability. Okay, I want it, I think I want it, do I want the greenery pointing up? I think I want it like that. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, so see how it's going to kind of mimic that idea of these, okay? And if you want to, you could put some stickles or liquid pearls, something like that. That would be really pretty. And then let's look at these. Thinking about adding, and I'm going to stick down what I don't use. I'm going to leave a tiny border along the edge of the cardstock. And I'm going to save this because I will use it on something else. All right, now we do like that. I don't know, I keep turning this. I think I like it better like that now. All right, what else do we want on here? I know. Do I have, I even have it threaded. Okay. Nope, I just unthreaded it. That's okay. I have a needle and this gold thread. It's not going to be super easy to thread back through this little eye because they just separate so easily, the threads. But there we go, I got it. Okay. So what I'm thinking is, I'm not going to stick this down yet. It might be fun to just do like a couple of little crisscrosses. So I think I'm going to attempt to be smart and I can always get the holes punched, hopefully. And I'm hoping with the thread we won't see those pencil marks. I can always attempt to erase them. Okay, so all I did was drew 3 little X's, and I'm going to pre-poke the holes, and I'm going to attempt to do 3 little cross stitches on here with the gold thread, because again, it's Christmas. And let's have some pretty, right? And again, to show you, you probably have more supplies than you think. Okay, and I could have made the hole bigger, but I really wanted just the placement so they would still look hand sewn and not perfect, but where I'm not, when I just try to eyeball doing this, it really gets cattywampus on me. All right, yeah, you don't even see the pencil mark. But after I poked the holes, I could have easily erased the pencil. Yeah, I think that's gonna be cute. All right, I'll be done here in just a sec. And let me know what you think. I know I keep saying that, and I hope this is going up, I think the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. So happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone, if you celebrate, however you choose to celebrate, you have a lovely, lovely time. I'm excited. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I am going to miss Daniel and Sarah, who will be with their dad's side of the family this year. But we still have lots of folks that will be here. It's hard for me when I don't have the 2 that I gave birth to with me. It's hard. Okay. Yeah, I think that just added a little touch. We may decide we need something else too, but let's get this tied. And this thread does like to slip, so I'm going to make sure I get a good knot. And I can always add a little bit of glue if I have to, but I think we're going to be good. All right, let me try to keep that through there. I have had it for I don't know how long on my pin cushion, and I went to grab it just then. I'm like, oh, I can use this. And it came out. All right, I think I've got that pulled tight enough. Okay. It's subtle. All right, and I'm going to turn it that way. And these are new-ish, so I'm not going to worry too much about my pop dots not sticking. I think they'll be okay. I think she's cute and pretty. All right, so that's an idea of how you could do one with a sticker or a fussy cut to make your own embellishment, since I was using a lot of pre-made ones. And then let's see what else I have for paper. I have another strip like this, and we also have this one, and I did the triple, and it was the same as the other, but again, we would cut this one more narrow and then did the looped ribbon at the top. So that one I think was really nice, and we can definitely do more this size with the way I cut the paper. So anyway, I think I'm gonna stop. I hope this gave you some ideas, and you will make some vintagey style Christmas cards. The other thing is you could use any old photos. You know, if you already have a kit that has some old photos in it, or some even from your own family. If you don't want to use the originals, you can always, you know, make a copy or scan it and print it, kind of thing. So again, there's lots of ways to use, you know, the paper that you have or the supplies you have. So anyway, have fun. If you have a moment, tell me which one you like the best and why. Okay? There's the one we just did. All right, y'all have a great day until next time. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Take care, everyone.